Hey guys, what's up? I'm Rohit Khurana, host on Intellect Digest, and today we have two really super high value for money smartphones here: the Honor 10 as well as the OnePlus 6, right here in one frame. And this is the 10 versus 6 comparison. So I'm gonna compare which phone gives you what all strong points and which phone is better for you between these two: the OnePlus 6 versus the Honor 10. I'm leaving Best Buy links to both these phones in the description section below this video, so you can pick either of them which you like better. Let's get started with the dimensions comparison, and you can see very clearly here, if you put them side by side, you can see that the Honor 10 is smaller in almost every dimension. It is smaller in width, it's smaller in height, it's smaller in thickness. It's a much more compact phone compared to the OnePlus 6, but this comes at the cost of the screen size. This one is a smaller screen at 5.8 inches diagonally, or 5.84 to be precise, whereas this one is approximately 6.3 or 6.28 to be precise. Both the screens are edge to edge, almost edge to edge, and as you can see, there is a small notch. One small difference here that you see here is that there is a small chin below the screen on the Honor 10, whereas there is no chin here because there is an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner. When you turn off the display, you can see the scanner. This is almost invisible, and this is under the glass, so it is flushed with this front glass surface. As soon as you put your thumb on it, it unlocks. So because of the scanner, there is a small chin here which is missing altogether here. So the chin is much smaller on the OnePlus 6. The fingerprint scanner on the OnePlus 6 has been provided at the back. Talking about the physical form factor and the design overview, both the phones look really premium. They both use glass and metal design. They are really up there in terms of quality. Some slight differences that you would note here is that there is an alert slider here, which is unique to OnePlus 6, which you would not find on the Honor 10. But on Honor 10, you would find an infrared blaster with which you can control your television and other devices like home theater, AC. So that is something that you cannot do with OnePlus 6. So each phone has some pros or some cons, but overall these are really well built devices, and they're very up there in terms of build and construction. Really impressive. One more thing, if you are conscious about how much weight you are carrying around, this one is 153 grams and this one is 177 grams. So a 20 grams difference, approximately 15% in terms of percentage. So yes, the Honor 10 is lighter, sleeker and smaller of the two. Next, I'm going to talk about cameras. Yes, because cameras matter a lot, especially in the premium phones. These are dual camera smartphones. On the Honor 10, you get a very elaborate 16 plus 24 dual camera setup at the rear. The 24 megapixel camera is a black and white sensor, whereas the 16 megapixel sensor is f-stop 1.8 colored sensor, and it uses software features to determine the scene, which is why they call it AI camera. It is paired with the AI chip, or the Kirin 970 chip, that enables this AI feature. So this is about the rear camera, and on the front you get a 24 megapixel front facing camera. Let me talk about this camera and then I'll show you some samples that I clicked with both of these. So on the OnePlus 6 you get dual camera setup as well, but here you get 16 plus 20 setup, and both the sensors are f-stop 1.7. The main sensor, which is 16, is optically image stabilized, or OIS, which is really helpful especially in low light. And on front here you get a 16 megapixel compared to a 24 megapixel that you get on the Honor. Now, talking about the picture quality, numbers are okay, numbers are one thing, but if you look at the picture quality, this is a portrait shot that I clicked with both the phones, and let me zoom into the images and show you. This is how it looks, and the background objects are blurred out, as you can see, and it's blurred out on both the phones quite well. So the pictures come out very well. but there is slight difference in the texture. As you can see, this is slightly warmer image, because there is also a difference in the display quality. This one is an IPS LCD panel, whereas this one is an optic AMOLED panel, so there has to be some difference because of that as well. This one looks colder tones, this one looks as warmer tones. These are normal shots without the portrait mode enabled, and you see that AI symbol on top. This tells you that the AI feature of the camera was used to enhance the image. When I click on AI, do you see the difference? The kind of color enhancement it does. So the AI is really making the image enhanced and punchy. If I turn off the AI and then compare these two images, you can see that they are quite alike, whereas on this one I see that the detailing is slightly better uh, when you zoom in, but here it looks more natural, so they are quite close. Next, this is a selfie that I took with both the phones, and this one, as you can see, again slightly warmer tones here. The detailing is slightly more on this shot compared to this one, because this is using higher 24 megapixels, whereas this one is 16 megapixels. And you can see the color temperature difference is quite evident. The frame width is almost identical on both. If you observe, the Honor's frame is slightly wider. As you can see, the curtains in the background are more visible here, but that may also be just human error. Now, if you ask me about which camera I like better, it's a very difficult question to answer. If you are taking a lot of selfies, then yes, 24 megapixels on this one is better. But if you take a lot of low light shots, then probably the OIS on the rear camera will help you on this one. If you put them objectively, both the cameras are really good and really up there in terms of quality. But with OnePlus, you get some extra features, like you get 4K at 60 frames per second, whereas this phone allows you 30 frames per second. This one allows you slow motion video recording at 1080p at 240 frames per second and at 720p at 480 frames per second. So you get the slow motion video support on the OnePlus 6, which is missing on the Honor 10. Whereas the Honor 10, on the other hand, gives you AI enhancement of your images. Talking of the specifications, they are very different. The Honor 10 here uses a Kirin 970 AI-enabled chip, which bets heavily on artificial intelligence features, which includes AI usage in camera and some other features. This one is coupled with 6 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of memory, and there is only one variant that is on sale in India. That is priced at 33,000 rupees. That is very competitive. The OnePlus 6 comes with different variants. It uses Snapdragon 845 chipset, which is again top of the line chip that can perform any task that you throw at it. But it is not AI centric chip. It is a normal chip, and it provides 664 or 6GB RAM 64 memory, or 8GB RAM and 128GB options at 35,000 and 40,000 rupees respectively, which is slightly higher compared to the Honor 10 if you compare it with the 6GB and 128GB. So different variations that you get, but this is slightly cheaper in terms of price. Some other differences between these two is that this one uses the Emotion UI, which is their own skin on top of Android 8.1, whereas the OnePlus 6 uses Oxygen OS, which is more close to the stock Android if you compare it with the Emotion UI, which is more heavily loaded with tools, features, functionalities. Now it is up to your preference if you want a feature loaded phone or if you want a simplistic phone with probably more performance, because here you have less features but it runs comparatively faster. This one is not slow at all, so don't get me wrong, but this one is more feature rich because it has Emotion UI, which is a heavier skin compared to the Oxygen OS. In terms of fast charging support, this one supports adaptive fast charging, approximately 18 watt, and this is dash charging, which is 20 watt. Dash charging is by far one of the fastest that we have seen, but this is not bad as well. But OnePlus 6 charges slightly faster. The fingerprint scanner location is different for both the phones. It is more convenient on the Honor 10. Another little difference is the Bluetooth. You get Bluetooth 4.0 here, you get Bluetooth 5 here, so Bluetooth version is more advanced on the OnePlus 6. So summing up, which is the one that you want to pick? Is it the OnePlus or is it the Honor? Well, I'll give you a simple answer. If you like compact phones and if you are more into selfies, the Honor 10 makes more sense. If you're into performance, if you like larger screens, if you don't mind a slightly extra bulk, then OnePlus 6 is the one for you. Both the phones are excellent. They provide excellent value for money. If you are on a very tight shoestring budget and can't spend extra, then Honor 10 is a better bargain if you look at the price. Both the phones are really good. They offer top of the line performance, great cameras, good battery life, and overall amazing software experience. So you can pick either of these two, which you feel suits your personality better. I'm leaving Best Buy links to both these phones in the description section below this video, so you can pick either of them which you like better. If you enjoyed watching this quick comparison, give us a thumbs up by pressing the like button below, and for more such videos, stay subscribed. This is your host Rohit Khurana signing off. Thanks for watching.